Right, so this recording is showing you how to make a night scene in Photoshop. So we have here, we've got my scene that I exported from SketchUp. I have my background scene and I have the moon. Okay, we're going to have a moon in the sky. All right, so we're going to start with this background image, all right, and get it sorted out. So what I want to do, I want to, just like before, I'm going to flip the image, this photograph. I can't flip a background layer, so I'm just going to copy this one real quick, like that, and then we're going to say Edit, Transform, and then Flip Horizontal. Now my coastline is going the right direction. But if you look, it's kind of crooked. So I need to rotate this just a little bit. So I want a guideline. So I'm going to hit Control R to make my rulers show up, and then I'm going to click and drag a guideline down so I can get a horizontal line. Then I'm going to rotate this image until that horizon line is actually flat, like it should be. So I'm going to hit Enter, and then I'm going to position my cursor over the guideline and drag it back up so he's disappeared. Okay, so now we have a nice flat horizon line. And I can flatten this, I can say Control E to flatten that. And let's go ahead and crop this just a little bit because I know this photo is really huge and I know I don't need all that much acreage on this thing. It's really big. Yeah, like that. Okay, so that's good enough to start with. So let's go ahead and bring the SketchUp export image in. We're just going to select it, make it active, and then grab the thumbnail and just drop it right on top. And there it is. Go to the Move tool, and we can move it around. So let's close this because we don't need that anymore. No, don't save changes. Okay. So let's make this guy big. Okay. So let's look. All right. So what we want to do is let's get this guy up in the corner. And I want to resize this. Actually, we should probably crop it first. But I want to resize it. So let's select it. And we're going to move it around. Oh, except we can't because it is locked. So we're going to unlock it. And yes, please, can we just unlock you? There we go. Now we're going to move. And yeah, that's probably okay. Right about in there. That's probably good. All right, now let's crop this again, and we're going to end right there at the end of the wall, and then we're going to just go to there. All good. And we're missing. Hang on, let's crop again. Let's come up just there. We go. That's better. Okay, so now we have our scene. All right. Now, what I want to do is make it look like it's nighttime. So I am going to put an adjustment on here. All right. I'm going to go to this one over here. This is called Color Lookup. And these things are awesome. It's like a pre-made series of settings. And if you hit, so this one is selected. If you hit the down arrow, there's a whole list that you can choose from. And one of them is Moonlight. So I'm going to click on Moonlight. All of a sudden, everything's very blue. Nice. Okay? So I do want to, actually, let's put this down here. So I want this to be attached to the background. All right? And I want another one. So I want two of them. One for each layer. Okay, that's where I'm headed with this. So we're going to select the SketchUp layer, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Go to Adjustment, click over here, click on the down arrow, and select Moonlight also, and then pin it. All right. So now this is independent from this. Okay. So that is going to allow me to manipulate them independently, which is exactly what I want to do. So next, let's go ahead and put the moon in the sky real quick. So let's grab him, and we're just going to drag and drop and put him in there. There he is. All right, we're going to hide him now. All right, so what I want, I don't want all this black stuff. I just want the moon. So let's say marquee. We're going to delete that because it's got somebody's signature in there. And then we're going to say W, chromatic wand. We select that. We're going to delete it. Okay, and then deselect for Control D. Now, let's move the moon until it's kind of over here. Right, we want it on the left-hand side because it's casting light. You can see from the shadows about what kind of angle we're going to want. Now, we can be clever and have it just outside our frame, and that's nice. Now, I don't want this white in the sky, okay? So instead of being a normal layer, I'm going to tell it to be, do we want hard light or soft light? Let's do hard light. Hard light's a little bit brighter. Okay, so if we do hard light, that means it just, it lightens only. All right, so now we have the moon, and we have some shadows. Everything's bluish. Now, the big thing is we want these lanterns to be casting light on this area down here, this little seating area. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to this color lookup layer. And what this is kind of a mask. It's like a layer over top of the layer. So if we erase part of it, then the light is going to show through. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take our eraser, so E for erase, and we can, it's kind of small. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's get it up here. Yeah, up around there. All right, and opacity, let's put the opacity down to like 15%. That's good. And let's say we want softness. Yeah, that's good. All right, so what we're going to do, very, very softly, we are going to erase down here. And you'll see how this is erasing the layer of blue, of shadows. Okay, and because I have my opacity set so low, I'm clicking multiple times. Okay, so that's allowing me to have a very subtle gradation. And let's see, we need light on the plants too. All right, now I'm going to hit the bracket key, the left bracket, and make this a little smaller. I'm going to have, get that bright, make this bright. All right. Now, these lanterns would be casting light up in here, just a bit. And this one would be casting light here. Also a little bit over here, just a bit. And some on the inside of this pole. Okay. So a little bit over here. So we're being very artistic with where we're getting rid of these shadows. Okay, and a little bit more over here. All right, so there's, and let's get some off this plant too. All right, so now we have, let's back up a little bit. Now we have kind of a pool of light here. Now the one thing that's left is these lanterns need to be glowing. So, is that the moon? Oops, I'm bad. I did not name that. No, okay. Now, we need another layer on top of everything. Okay, so let's make a new layer. And this one is going to be called lantern. It would help if I could spell. Okay, so we're going to zoom in really close. And for this, we're just going to paint, right? So we're gonna get, let's move this over. Okay, so we're zoomed in really, really small. All right, so we're gonna grab our paintbrush, and I want, let's say 2 pixels, okay? And the color I want is this nice, really light, pale yellow, okay? So I want this to be in normal mode, and opacity is 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I am going to paint in the light that's coming out of the glass parts of the lantern. And let's make that one a little bit bigger. And this is a little bit time consuming, but it's okay. We don't have much to do here. And I need to have a really, really small brush because I'm getting into all these details around this lacy kind of metalwork stuff here. All right. And over here too. All right. So if we zoom out, actually let me fill that in a little bit better. A little bit better there. Okay, so if we zoom out, Control minus, you can see how this one looks like it's lit and this one doesn't. So let's zoom back in and up. Okay, now let's get that other one in there. And then that's about it. This is the last thing we have to do. So when you're coloring these in, you want to use something that's really bright and stands out. This is going to be the brightest thing in the scene. It's going to be this light source. All right. And if I make a mistake, right there, I can go back to my erase, and I can erase it. Get that right off. There we go. And then say B for brush, and then go right back to painting. I could also use the lasso tool and do a flood fill. You could totally do that too. Either one will work. All right. So there we go. And we have a nighttime scene. Ta-da!